Q is more than a letter, it's action. It stands for the bold and the unheard, diverse, vibrant, and defiant. Let's talk, let's walk. This is your Q. All right, welcome everyone. We're here for our first episode of This Is Your Q podcast. Woo!
Hey.
Woo!
Yay. Let's do this.
I want to thank all of the listeners here with us. And we'll start by asking a question to those that are attending today on our panel. So please take some time to introduce yourself briefly for our listeners, sharing a little bit about your current roles or positions within your profession and community. And we can start with Kathy.
Hello. You were so funny, Edgar. Love you to pieces. Okay, well, I'm Kathy Clem. I am, my day job is I feed a lot of people and serve the community of Jackson and Laurel, and through working at the Good Samaritan Center, which is a nonprofit, gonna plug it, that helps families in crisis. But probably about 6 years ago, I got this bug. Somebody asked me to help with the 5K, the Rainbow Run, because Good Sam does runs. And I said, yeah, I'd love to. And so we did the first one. And then I started helping planning the festivals that we have for Pride. And then last year I got asked to be a board member. And I said, well, okay, it's probably time. And so I did. And then the next thing I know, deer in headlights, I'm being asked if I might step in as board chair for 2026. And I thought, well, that was not in the plan. And we had some serious discussions, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
About what we were going to do and making sure we had, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plan, because that's how I roll. And then I just sort of jumped into it. And we had some changes a lot of changes in board and a lot of changes in bylaws. And actually, I made a post right before this that said, I feel I'm humbled, but I feel very fortunate to be able to work with this group of people on this project, on this whole endeavor about creating safe spaces for queer people, because I'm queer, period. But also because I've volunteered all my life, and it's not till 6 years ago that somebody actually asked me to help with the queer community. And I'm like, okay, yes. And now, I mean, it brings me so much joy and challenges, but I'm loving every day of it. And one of the really cool things about this year is that board members had to have initiatives. And one of the initiatives, when I started meeting with all the board members, one person, Edgar, had this amazing initiative to have a podcast, which is something I think that we should have been doing, that we needed to do. And so you and I leaned into that, and boom, here's the first one. And it is amazing, and I'm so excited, and I'm proud of you. And of course, I'm proud of Pride.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Kathy. And it has been an honor serving on the board with you, and I really have appreciated your leadership style. So, and look forward to it in the many months to come. So,
well, thank you.
We're fortunate also to have some of the founding members of Mississippi Capital Pride with us here as well. And so I would like to hear from them. We can start with
Ashlee, because her name starts with an A.
Of course. I'm Ashlee Pitts. I work in education and nonprofit sector. So I work across Mississippi and Arkansas in my work, and I get a lot of joy out of working with K through 12 kids, as well as like working with new teachers and helping them to really see their classrooms prosper. So that's kind of like what I do on a daily basis. And then how many years has it been? I don't even know.
We started talking in 2019.
Oh yeah.
7.
So okay.
Because I came on 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, like 2019, I was introduced to Lucas and Tyler, And I had the great opportunity of being asked to be a secretary and work with them to build this organization. And like being new to the Jackson area, I was just like, this sounds like a great opportunity. Sure. Like, this sounds like fun. And never even thought about like where it would take me where I am now, seeing all the different things that have been shifting and changing over the years, like with this organization to where we are now, like seeing these initiatives, like this podcast is not something I would have even thought about 7 years ago. So it makes me really excited to see where the organization is going. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I just want you to know, Ashlee, you're my personal hero because your level of organization is phenomenal.
Well, thank you.
You know, keeps me straight. Well, not straight,
Edgar.
but you know what I mean.
Not that
You know what I mean.
Oh, bad.
Yeah. All right, Lucas, how about you?
Yeah. Lucas Posey, one of the co-founders. So Tyler and I were living together at the time as housemates, and they were housemates. And we had like a group of queer friends over to the house one night for like a game night or something. And I believe Starkville Pride had just had their celebration, and we were all kind of commiserating that Jackson wasn't going to have anything that year to celebrate Pride, like as a big Pride festival. And so I guess that's the gumption of like a mid to late 20-year-old of just like, yeah, I can figure it out. I can plan a Pride. I can do it. And so Tyler and I just started talking about this organization, or like what an organization could look like in the city of Jackson. And we were fortunate enough to befriend Cody Shoemaker, who was in a kind of an early starter with us. And then he introduced us to Ashlee, who, as you have so rightly deemed her, she's like the organization queen, and really helped me and Tyler and Cody at the time, like, get our ducks in a row and like figure out how to make things actually happen. But also, like Ashlee says, I had no clue that this organization would become this. Initially I was like, let's just have a party. Pride's a party, right? But really Pride is so much more. Capital City Pride itself is so much more than just our big festival. But also like the idea of Pride is so much more than just a party. And so it's really exciting to see how this organization has blossomed from like that little conversation at my dinner table.
Yeah, thank you. And one thing I wanted to say to you, Lucas, is I appreciate how ardent and passionate you are. I feel like you show up for every event. I mean, all the events I've been to, I feel like you've been there, or you've been in some form or step along the way in the planning and organization process. So I appreciate your.
I don't have a lot else going on. Work and Pride. That's about it.
Yeah.
You bring so much joy to it, though.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
thank you. There's no other way to live, right?
Yeah, that's true. And then we have Tyler also joining us. So
Our sweet baby angel.
Hey everyone. So my name's Tyler Sauls. Previously Griffin. I go by either or. I live in Ocean Springs, which is why I'm not there in Jackson. But I was born and raised in Byram, Mississippi. Went to Mississippi College to get my bachelor's degree in computer information systems. That's my full-time job as a software engineer, focusing in automation. Let's see. Yeah, I co-founded Mississippi Capital City Pride alongside Lucas and Ashlee in 2019, and I'm sure we'll get so much more in depth with that. It's a beautiful story. And now that I'm on the coast, I usually try to help with more administrative tasks now that I can't be there, volunteering in person as much as I'd like. So things like leading fundraising meetings, doing our Rainbow Magnolia Society, helping with any tech and software related things, or helping write grants here and there. So things like that. And so it's super exciting, like Lucas said, to see where we've come to now, where we are, and doing a full podcast and production. And I'm just so proud of this team and everyone in this room right now. It's been one of the most rewarding things in my life.
That was such a great organic plug, Tyler. What is the Rainbow Magnolia Society?
Well, the Rainbow Magnolia Society is our giving circle. It's really where a bunch of donors who feel passionate about our cause, and what the board does and what the Pride Committee does, and it's a way to financially support us. You can become a Rainbow Magnolia Society member for $1,200 a year, or $2,400 for couples. We do all sorts of things. It helps us fund our board events. It helps us fund administrative things. It helps us fund the
podcast.
Pride Committee. Helps us fund this podcast. So it really pushes us forward to be able to do all the visions and projects that we want to do here at Capital City Pride.
Yeah, and I appreciate you too, Tyler, because you have a level-headedness that I feel like is not topped by many. And
Tyler
then,
has been topped by many.
um,
But no more. He's a married man.
I am married.
Ching. And then also, I don't know if I've ever noticed anyone who can actually create a Zoom link so quickly and share it with the rest of us. It's just an impressive feat,
He's an
you know?
He has like 4 AI agents that do
Yeah.
it for him, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
all automated.
Yeah. And you know, I didn't really formally introduce myself. My name is Edgar Meyer. It's my pleasure and honor to be able to serve on the board of directors for Mississippi Capital City Pride, and really to just move forward with helping represent and honor the dignity of all human beings.
Oh, how
Um,
sweet.
And that kind of brings us into my next question, which has to do with what Mississippi Capital City Pride really means to each of you. And so, you know, if you could, in your own words, briefly, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think something that is really important to all of us in the board and as founders and the board chair, but also board members in general, and as well as our Pride Planning Committee, is we all consistently talk about our why for being involved in an organization that takes a lot of work. We're all volunteers. None of us get paid to do this. So this is like having a almost full-time job on top of a full-time job. And my why has always been that I wanted to create an organization that that created safe spaces for everyone, but also really showed like past Lucas's what he could have been when he was older. Growing up in the South and in a conservative family, you're taught that like there is no positive life as a queer person. And I wanted to reflect that to my community that like, hey, you can grow up and be like a successful, happy, well-adjusted, well, maybe not so well-adjusted, but like at least happy and successful queer person. And it's not all the negative stereotypes that we hear about as like young conservative kids.
Thank you. How about you, Ashlee?
I think for me, it's rooted in one of my core values, which is community. I think, especially being like a transplant to Mississippi, one of like the most important things is like feeling a community and being able to like connect with other people. And I think ever since like being in this organization, I've met so many people who have like come to Jackson or like throughout even Mississippi in general, and they felt like some form of community that they could create from being a part of Pride. So I think that's like one of my biggest pieces. And then even for myself, like when I first moved here, I didn't have like a lot of friends. I was just like, oh, I have no one. But for real, like being in this organization, that community piece, I like really have like a need to want to be around other people who I have the similar identities with. And in being in this organization gives me that opportunity. And I want other people who look like me or how identify like me to be able to like find their community too.
Yeah, forced proximity is a great way to make friends.
Yeah. Like we're so proximal to each other right now.
Yeah.
In this space.
Comfortable and cozy.
And then Tyler, we'll hear back from you as well as one of the founders.
Yeah, I think Lucas and Ashlee pretty much nailed it with community and safe spaces. I believe within the first year, 2 years, we really wanted to focus in on like what is the mission of Capital City Pride, and it's to create safe spaces within Jackson. It's to mentor emerging leaders. It's to help youth and adults who feel like they don't really have any type of community, and we want to give them that sense of belonging to say, hey, come hang out with us. This space is just as much for you as it is for us. And this Capital City Pride was really started on to focus in on that community and bring awareness to everything that's going on. And we also want to show people that, hey, we're normal people just like everyone else. Like, I know there's a lot of extreme talking points, and there's other podcast or news outlets in Jackson that want to paint us in a bad light, but we're here to say, we're here, we're queer, we're not going anywhere, but at the same time, we're just normal people just trying to find our way through life. And so, I love Capital City Pride for everything we've been able to do so far. It's so community driven. We've kept that in our roots, and I hope that we maintain that for as long as we live.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate you saying that too, Tyler, because I think this was the first group of people that I really felt like could handle all my different identities. As somebody who is also religious, I consider myself a walking oxymoron. But I feel like I found a family, a group of friends that could really embrace all of those aspects of myself and really allow me to be who I am fully and truly. So, and with that, Kathy.
Okay, so as the senior citizen, as the meemaw, as Jerry Hand would say, I mean, I've lived a life a lot longer than a lot of you guys, but I've been queer. I mean, my wife and I met we were 13 and 14. And we didn't know anybody else that was gay. Well, maybe the PE teacher.
The PE teacher is always gay.
Because the PE teacher is always gay. Yeah. The funny thing is, when we went to probably our 25th high school reunion, it was like, look, they're gay, and everybody, and all of a sudden, all the gay people, because we had a class of 500 people, and if you're looking at 10, and I kind of think it's more like 20%, there were a lot of people, and we were just like the queen of the prom. But it was a different life because you had to pass, and we both did. It wasn't a big deal. But, as I got older and realized that I didn't know what it was, but I knew I wasn't totally straight, I knew that I needed to find a sense of community, and I didn't know where to look. But gay people kind of find each other sometimes, and we find our allies. We find people that love us regardless. And like I said, it wasn't until probably 6 or 7 years ago that I volunteer for everything. I'm on the neighborhood association. I'm on, I do nonprofit work, so I'm volunteering in all kinds of places. And I had never been asked to volunteer for queer causes. I went to 1993 March on Washington Pride when Melissa Etheridge came out. I'm telling you, I've been around for a long time. And it wasn't until recently that, in the last 5, 6, 7 years, that I got asked to be a part of something that is so intrinsic to who I am. And it's not like I've hidden who I am. Because once I got to be probably in my 30s, 40s, I am who I am. You get outed. I'm very fortunate. My family loves me. They've loved my partners. And I've been able to have a life. Probably a different kind of life than younger people have now. Because, I don't have a lot of regrets, but I really kind of wish I could have had kids. But, people didn't in the 80s, So, bottom line, my why now, of course, is to create safe spaces. But it's also looking at younger people. When I first started this, we had a different kind of administration. Not to get political, we had a different kind of administration where I never thought we would ever be able to get married. And all of a sudden we were. Yay. I got married. I wanted to get married. I've wanted to get married all my life. I wanted us to be able to get married all our life, to have that choice. So when I got involved, I'm like, oh, it's a different kind of thing. But in the last few years, it's a different kind of thing. And we're kind of having to double down on we're not weird. We're here. Yes, we're queer.
Mhm.
But we're just like Tyler said, like everyone else. We pay our taxes. We love people. We're not on the Epstein list. I'm not trying to be political, but I'm just trying to say that realistically, we're just some damn good people
Yeah.
that love other people. And we care about what's happening. And I understand that I run a nonprofit and that, I feed people. And who would have thought that feeding people would be a big deal? Do you know how hard it is to do right now? And how many people need help? Does that make sense to us? No.
Mm-mm.
So add the queer part on it. At least I run a nonprofit that queer people feel like they can come.
Yeah.
And they don't, they're not going to be judged. Come to our clothing closet. I don't care where you shop. You can shop in the men's section. You can shop in the women's section. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
My staff doesn't care. We love all people. So my why is it's just about love. It's just about loving people the way you want to be loved and showing that everybody is a child of God. Period. There's no comments after that. That's it.
I would drop this mic if I could, but
Don't drop the mic.
Yeah,
You're not holding it.
keep it really close to my face.
And bottom line, that's my why.
Yeah.
Because, I want to love people. I want to love on people. I want to show people that they are children of God. And sure, we'll create safe spaces, but let's just be real. And regardless of what letter in the LGBTQ plus you are, God loves you.
Yeah.
Period.
Hey, just something for you guys to see. I'm putting the comments on the right side of your, or the
Okay,
right
great.
side of your screen.
Okay, yeah.
So we are getting some comments, and if you would let people know on the mic that if they have questions or comments, please let them know, and you can read them on the show.
Okay, awesome.
Edgar, do you want to repeat what he said?
Yeah, so people are posting the comments on the side here, and we can share those in real time here.
Hey, Laura. Hey, Brandon.
So
hey, Chris.
if you have
We love
questions,
you guys.
put them in the chat. We'll answer them.
Yes, please. We're doing live. We weren't going to go live. I put these guys.
Kathy talked me into it.
I knew that we needed to go live eventually, but I came here thinking, oh, they're not going to want to
And
go live.
I'm glad you just now told me we went live, and I didn't know we were live until just now, so that's great. It's going to be awesome. Well, Kathy, since we also just heard from you, this might be a good time for you to talk about some of your goals for how you foresee the organization progressing over the course of this year and into the future. And how do you see yourself adding synergy to our board members with the initiatives that we're working with?
Your 1, 3, and 5-year plan, Kathy.
Well, I mean, I will reiterate what I said earlier. So Pride has struggled. A lot of new nonprofits struggle. You get on board members because you want diversity, and you cast this net, and sometimes people don't appreciate what's involved in being a board member, and people have different reasons for joining boards. And we have no paid staff, so the bottom line is every board member has to do work. And we struggled with that. I mean, I'll be honest. Last year, I almost got off because not only were we not moving where I thought we needed to move, we were kind of like, what's going on? But also there was tension between people, kind of issues that all boards have a lot of times at different times. And so I was just like, oh, goodness, what's happening here? And I got a call from Lucas, and Lucas said, I'll never forget this. Lucas says, I said, Lucas, actually, I called you
Mhm.
and I said, Lucas,
Yeah.
I need to know what's happening because I'm on a few boards. I want to give this my all. You know, I believe in this, but I don't know that I don't have time for ridiculousness. And I'm new in I'm a people pleaser, so I'm trying to set really good, strong boundaries. And he said, well, I said, what's going to happen next year? He says, well, I think we found a really good leader. And I'm like, uh-huh. And he said, she'll be great. And I'm thinking, oh, and I immediately thought of someone else.
I think I said there's a really strong, gorgeous woman who I have so much faith in.
Well, and so I definitely did not think that was me.
I mean, look at her.
Well, I seriously, we have another board member who is strong and gorgeous and all the good things. And I thought, oh, she will be great. And that was the end of the conversation. And then like a week or two later, I'm like, what's going on? Did you say yes? Well, I haven't really asked her. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, do you want to do this? And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
I thought I was being like so clear and like direct.
So here's the thing. I need direct because you have to, don't ask me to like, what am I thinking? Because I don't know.
Mhm.
I mean, you have to really spell it out for me. And he did. And I'm like, oh, and I think I was in California on a trip and I'm like, okay, well, I'm on vacation. And
I gave her my hard sell too. Like, I think I sent like 3 paragraphs in a text message.
I'm like, okay, give me this week to think about it because Pride really last year could have been Pride's last year as far as I thought.
Yeah.
And I thought about it and I prayed about it, honestly. And I came back to Lucas and Tyler and Ashlee, and I said, here's the thing. If you want me to do this, there has to be some changes. And we were already talking about board member changes and bylaw changes and initiatives. We are already starting that conversation about requiring individuals to do more.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing if they did. You know, you got to have a leader that makes sure people do in a very nice way. I said, so that has to happen. We have to require more and get more. We don't have a paid staff. But then also, you guys, Pride is an amazing organization, but we have to have a plan. Where the freak are we driving to? You know?
And I think just to interject just a little bit, I think we were definitely, I think a lot of queer organizations and queer people in general in the year of our Lord 2025 were struggling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, January 20th happened, and you know there was kind of a iron fist that came down on a lot of our supporters and our sponsors, and you know, it's Pride Y'all, our yearly festival. 2026 will be October 16th to 18th. But our festival in 2025 struggled to raise funds because a lot of our sponsors were scared to sponsor a queer organization because they were scared they were going to lose their donors and their patrons or whatever. And so I think there was external pressures on our organization, organizationally, fundraising wise. Also, like internally, us as individuals were struggling.
Right.
And I think all of those things and just maybe also just like a little bit weird of a mix on the board.
And you guys have been
all those things
working on this for a lot of years, and
and
you have a life.
We were all a little burned out.
It was also like the time of change too, because we went to 100% working board during that time. So like we were doing a lot of things where, how we said earlier, that our board is not like we are not paid, and it went from like. It went to every single person.
Yeah, we had like an executive director for a little bit who we did pay very minimally, but but he was able to do a lot of the administrative tasks that now we had to figure out who on the board was going to cover those tasks. Like who was going to be the person reaching out to sponsors, who was going to be the person going to the city council or talking to all these different individuals. Yeah. It was a very volatile year.
Right. Well, and I love the fact that I was able to come to you and say, if you want me to do this, we've got to get the board members. Well, we had a huge year because we had 6 new board members come on.
Yeah.
We only have 11 board members. So, we had to go and find board members.
Mhm.
But also, it's kind of a cool thing because we were able to go find board members and ask them to join, ask them to apply, that we felt like really would kick it.
Yeah.
But I also said, we really have to think about long term. And one of the things long term is like, okay, I'm only in here for a year. What happens next year? So you have to think about, okay, you have to almost think succession. You have to think who's been working hard, who would be good. Because sometimes people that want it aren't always the best fit. And we've had people that leadership that just wish people would do. We've had people that have sort of said, you better do. And then you had to find a leader that would try to encourage people to be the best they could be and help them in any way, which I think you found with me.
Yes. Yeah. We
And
definitely
so-
needed a level-headedness and a leader with experience leading.
And someone that might be a little cool under fire.
Yeah.
So anyway, I ended up saying yes. And I think that's kind of what happened. And it's been, I can't believe it's been 6 months, guys.
Yeah.
It's like, boom. But we're really into the initiatives. We have some amazing initiatives, not only Edgar's, but some of the other stuff we're doing is fun and exciting. And I think it makes board members feel a bigger part of what we're doing.
It gives everyone a sense of ownership over something. They're not
Right.
just being told what to do. They are the ones who are coming with their passions.
Right. And we're trying to kind of figure out how to tell the community about it and how they're going to grow. And so we're 6 months in, we've got another 6 months. But I'm really excited. I mean, we've done some changes like next year I can roll off the board, but I'm going to renew for 2 more years, but I will stay on as past president in order to really help the incoming chair really handle things the best that she can. And then hopefully help her, figure out who, how succession is a huge thing in nonprofits, because all you have to do is get one person that doesn't care or isn't in tune with where you're going.
You have one link in that chain break, and the whole organization has to kind of start from scratch.
And we have this opportunity, I feel, in the state of Mississippi. There are a lot of queer groups, but I feel like we being in Jackson, but also having so many people come to Jackson, and we have this opportunity to be not just leaders, but examples of not just statewide, but almost regionally, of creating safe spaces. But also, like, one of the initiatives is we need to know, like, if somebody moves here, who are queer-friendly lawyers?
Yeah.
Who are queer-friendly doctors? They can be allies, it doesn't matter. But who can you go to for XYZ? That's one of the initiatives. Making sure that, if, you'll go on our website, you will find, I want a cake made for my wedding. I know that's a big thing, but, you will be able to go because we have
beautiful
3
rainbow
people.
tattoo.
There you go. If you want any of these tattoos, I can tell you who. So that we are able to give that information out, because it is kind of hard to find sometimes, even now.
Yeah.
And I will say this on what you said earlier, the struggle to raise money. Because of the idea that DEI is bad, which I do not think it's bad, but because DEI is bad, and the federal government has kind of endorsed that, it is hard to raise money, not just for queer organizations, Black organizations, any kind of anybody that's not white and a man. And it is okay for groups to not do that when they felt compelled to be a part of inclusion.
Yeah.
Previously.
The social pressure has changed.
It has. And it is
big
interesting.
organizations don't feel the pressure they used to feel to be supportive of queer, queer-owned, Black-owned, women-led organizations.
Right.
And I just see a post in the chat here. It says, this is from Steven. More collaboration is needed to get the word out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely collaboration is key.
Very much so.
And I think what you're saying about being in Jackson, being a core organization in Jackson is, we have lots of connections with other core organizations around the state within Jackson. And we really are trying to build more and more relationships where we can be kind of the hub of that, not to take away from any other organization, but to be better about, like, this year, 3 different Pride festivals within the state of Mississippi are the same weekend. And we just, like, as a community, we can't support each other that way. So, like, how do we be better about not counter programming one another and supporting one another's initiatives and goals? Because we're all fighting for the same team.
Well, and it's kind of ironic because most Pride festivals all over the country are in June.
Yeah.
We all 3 picked the same weekend in October.
And we pick September, October, and then 3 state organizations are having it on the same weekend. Yeah, it is. It's kind of sad.
And that kind of emphasizes Stephen's point about more collaboration is
For sure.
more crosstalk.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Kathy. And so with what Kathy shared for the founders, I'm just curious to hear your thoughts on what you see the organization having had accomplished so far. What positive changes have you seen so far? What have you seen come to fruition?
That's a thinker.
I'll start with this one if you want me to.
Yes, please, Tyler.
Yeah. So a lot of things come to my mind, really. I think it's really matured and challenged each of us in ways that we've never expected. We now have Capital City Pride Day given to us by a previous mayor. We have our website in the National Archives. We've heard stories of parents being so thankful for us putting on events and that their queer children have a place of belonging, or people to connect to. We have extremely supportive local nonprofits and businesses and professionals that have our backs and support us yearly. And so we're really blessed with a lot of positive change within these past 7 years.
Yeah. Every time I think about, like, the positives or, like, the cool things we've done, I have this, like, immediate sense memory of, I think it was, like, our first big, like, social event. We took part in this event that, like, the Fondren Renaissance Foundation did, Dancing on Dueling. And then, like, closed down Dueling Street for the week, or for the night, for the day. It was, like, all day on a Saturday. And they had, like, different dance groups and, like, like ballet on the streets and all this kind of stuff. And it was in June. So we reached out. We're like, hey, can we be a part of this? And we took the, like, last 2 or 3 hours of the evening. So it was like, 8 to 10 probably PM. And we're like, we're going to do a drag show on Dueling Street. And it was, like, really cool to see that happen, because it was, like, all these people standing around with their, like, cell phones out with their flashlights on, because the street light, of course, went out that night. So, like, right when we were doing it, there was no light, so everybody was lined around with their flashlights on. And me and Tyler were up, like, with the DJ up on the little hill right there in front of Saltine. And I remember, like, just, like, leaning over to him and being like, can you believe this is happening right now?
Yeah.
And I don't know, I've never stopped feeling that way. Every time we have an event, I'm like, can you believe this is happening right now? And, whether it is just, like, the smile on a child's face or, like, that feeling that I get of just, like, can you believe the queer joy that's happening right now? I think that's the positive power we see. Whether it's a drag brunch or a trivia or, our festivals or our online book club, like anything, big, small, whatever we're doing, there's just, like, an element of queer joy, and we're celebrating being queer and being together, that community aspect. I think that's we may not have, like, cured homophobia, but, in that room, maybe we did.
Right.
I think for me, What comes to mind every single time I think about that first community like event where we were in Cody's apartment place, and it was people from the community came together and was kind of just like talking through, what do you want to see from this organization that's starting on like day one. And I think about like how we talked a lot about festival and trying to bring people together, and now I think about like where we are now, where we have panels during a Pride festival. That's something that every time I see that and like hearing the discussions about what's going to potentially like be there, that makes me so excited, because that was like something that just I love like how it like came to fruition, and now like that's something where people come to the Pride Festival because they want to hear from others in a panel. Like the story time that they had last year at Pride, I thought that was something great, because we also were able to bring children into it and like families, and that's like the main point of having Capital City Pride, is to have that community piece. So it makes me really excited, like seeing things like that over the years.
That day when those panels were happening, and I was out front, and so many families
Yes.
looking for the panels because they wanted story time.
Yes.
And
With-
I mean,
with Penny
you know,
Nichols and Mary Barnes.
very straight parents taking their kids because they wanted their kids to just be okay with this.
Yeah.
And it just, it filled me up.
Well, even
really big.
that, like there was a dad that I know from the community who brought his kids. He was like, well, the wife's busy, so I didn't have anything else to do with the kids. So I was like, this would be a fun thing they can do. So even like that, even though it's like, you know, we're not trying to indoctrinate these kids to make them queer. But you know, it's like, it was a book about like being yourself or whatever. And like, I think, you know, it is fun. It's you know, a drag queen and Mary Barnes. Like, how can you not have fun with that?
Well, and you know, the idea of indoctrination, and it's straight parents who want their kids to know diversity, to love all people, to not be prejudiced, and they are bringing their kids to Pride, and they are wanting to come to story time. You know, it's so different than what people think sometimes.
It also like brings me back to in the last couple of years of Pride festivals, we've been able to do surveys at the end of them. And one of the survey questions, it was either last year or the year before, where it was like a mom talking about being able to bring their child because they didn't like know how to have a conversation with them, and being able to give them the resources they needed. And just like having that moment like that is something that's so powerful, and I appreciate from being able to have this space over the last couple of years, because we never know like who is coming into the spaces that we create. But at the end of the day, if they're able to take something from it, is the biggest thing that we can try to accomplish.
Yeah,
exactly.
Those stories of like parents talking about like bringing their kid and maybe for the first time seeing their kid like recognize themselves in someone else, or like for the first time being able to like vocalize something they've been feeling. Like that's what it's about. It's about creating those spaces for kids like me or kids like who I needed.
Right. Exactly.
I think another big thing as well is I know for a fact that most all of our events, there is some sort of connection going on to where you're constantly meeting new people, you're meeting new friends, we're meeting other nonprofits or other leaders in the community. And each stepping stone is giving us giving us a path to a brighter future. It's making more connections, it's growing our community, it's all these different things. And so like that's one of the biggest positive changes as well, I think, is just all the different connections that our events have been able to make, or a nonprofit has been able to give people. That's really, really important, is to constantly grow our network as well.
And I don't think that we appreciate the depth of how we touch people. And I know I told this story, but I was at Sam's. No, I was at Costco. And this lady, the Hispanic lady, came up to me and in kind of a little broken English wanted to talk to me. And I immediately thought that she knew me from Good Samaritan Center. And she said, "Do you recognize me?" I said, "No, I don't." And she said, "Well, I know you." And I'm like, "Okay." And she said, then she went into, "Because of your Pride work." And I'm like, "Oh." And I had never had anybody come up to me about my Pride work. And, it's not like, a couple of years ago, I wasn't the face of Pride. I was just there at all the stuff. And just being there and supporting and helping organize. And she said to me, I had a friend that I wish had known you. I had a friend that I wish had, and she just started talking about John. And I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking, I don't know where she's going with this. And she said, well, if this had been here 10 years ago, then he would have met people and known people like him. Because she was obviously straight. Well, I don't have any gaydar, but I think she was straight. And she said, I just really wish that for him. But I'm very thankful that you are there. Pride is there for people now. And I was just like, whoa. It's the kind of thing that it makes you teary-eyed. And because I get a lot of comments about the work that I do, feeding people, and that's really, really important. But it was the first comment acknowledging my work with Pride and thanking me for it. And
it's lovely.
It was, it was kind of, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes me think of one of the Fondren First Thursday events. We had a booth set up, and we had a person approach us sort of anonymously thanking us for the work that we do. Although the person doesn't feel comfortable yet being open with family and certain friends, they definitely were recognizing that we're trying and attempting to create a space for that.
Yeah.
And I know y'all have talked about some of the events that Mississippi Capital City Pride sponsors. What have been some of your favorite events that have happened so far? And as you discuss those, maybe you can share how people can get involved.
Well, I'll speak about how people can get involved. Obviously, we're always accepting volunteers for any of our events. As Kathy says, we do a lot of events, and it takes a lot of people to run events, and we don't have a lot of people to pull from. So we are all busy. Pride Month was exhausting for me specifically, personally, but it was great as always. So volunteers will take you for any event. Also, our Pride Planning Committee, this year chaired by myself and Brittany Myberg. We are always looking to accept people onto that committee to come to the monthly meetings to help us plan that event, ideate around what is going to happen at that event, because every year it's a little different. And then also, run the event October 16th or 18th. If you want to sign up you can be a VIP to our event or our host committee. Those tickets are live now. Yeah, that's like the best way to get involved. Like, I think with the organization today, if you want to join today, every year we open up our board applications. So if you're interested in joining our board, our applications typically go live in December or January. So you can do all that. Yeah. Did you?
October, November.
Oh, we're going to be earlier this year, October, November. Great. I love it. I love it. And then, also join our mailing list. Go on just check us out on our website. Go join us on Facebook, Instagram. Hopefully we'll have a YouTube soon.
Just let us know what you think the community needs. That's really important too. Because we're talking about a lot of people throughout the state, and especially in the greater Jackson area. And we want to know, as we think of the 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plan, I mean, for you, what's needed, and what you feel like the community could benefit from.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's what is so exciting about our initiatives, is that a lot of the initiatives end up being some kind of event or some kind of way other people can get involved. The podcast is going to bring people onto the podcast to share their stories and get involved with the organization just by being a voice for our organization. One of our board members, Daniel Tovar, really cares about fashion design. So this year, as part of our yearly gay garage sale, he hosted a fashion show called Too Gay to Throw Away the night before, and it was local designers and just also people from the community who like clothes could go and like pull things from the gay garage sale, put it on their body, and walk it down the runway and like show like this is the cool stuff. Queer people love art, and like we can make art with clothing. So I think that was a really fun event that shows we're not just like doing like gay stuff. We're doing fashion. We're doing book clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit about that gay garage sale event.
Yeah, so every year the Pride Committee is one of the fundraisers for the Pride Committee to raise money for the festival is a yearly gay garage sale. We usually do it in the spring to align with spring cleaning because me personally, I love to throw things away and just like start it all over. But we accept donations of clothing, home goods, really anything you would see at a yard sale, and then we sell it to the community, and then all that money goes to put on the Pride Festival. And then anything we don't sell, we donate typically to Good Samaritan for them to put within their store to sell and raise money for the good work the Good Samaritan does. So again, Capital City Pride using our using our community outreach to raise our own money, but then also nothing goes to waste. It goes to another organization who can use it to keep themselves going as well.
Awesome. Anything to add, Ashlee or Tyler?
One of my favorite events, I would say trivia night with Penny Nichols. I think that has
because
become
you're competitive.
just a little bit.
Ashlee, you're
but
competitive.
when I'm able to go to them, it just brings me so much joy to go to that. I love competitiveness, but also like the different facts that I learn about the topics. Like what was the last one I went? It was Valentine's Day. Like learning the random different facts about Valentine's Day that I was unaware of. It's just been something that's been really exciting to go to. And then of course my other favorite event is the Rainbow Run. I enjoy, like, I'm not a runner, I am a walker. But I enjoy
You're a
the walk.
sashayer.
I am a sashayer, and I enjoy the walk. It's nice to see so many people go out and do the run, and then being able to like accomplish that 5K. I'm just like, yay, I did it.
And for those listeners who are interested, Trivia Night is the first Monday of the month. It's free. It's at Howlin' Mal's, hosted by Penny Nichols and myself. We move it sometimes when there's a holiday, but it's usually the first Monday at 7:00. And the next one will be July 6th. So it's coming up. If you want to come out and
it'll be coming.
Have fun.
This is the red, white, and blue theme.
Yes, red, white, and blue theme. Yeah, Penny likes to dress up in theme. So you'll see her dressed up, and there'll be some questions about red, white, and blue, I'm sure.
I will say this about what your favorite. So I'm from Florida. Grew up and graduated high school and moved here to go to college and then just never left. And somebody asked me today, why? Lots of reasons.
Jackson does
lots of reasons.
It's like a mud hole. It's like shooting. It's like
well,
quicksand.
I mean, there are some really amazing, wonderful things about living in Mississippi and living in Jackson. But where was it going?
Your favorite event?
My favorite event. Well, for many, many, many years, like I said, I went to the March on Washington. I went to Prides. I've been Atlanta, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, New York. I've been to lots and lots of different amazing, huge Prides. And we didn't have one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what? That's just the weirdest thing. So when I got contacted by the founders and, about, hey, you want to do this run? And hey, I'm like, are we going to have a Pride? And there have been Prides in the past. I'm not dismissing any of the amazing people that have tried to do it. But the timing was just right. Your enthusiasm, the time of where we were, it was just right to really make it like a true festival. And I've always wanted to be able to go to a festival in Jackson.
Yeah.
And so we've been doing it for, 6 years now.
Yeah, this will be our 6th year.
And
crazy.
That festival, I mean, and I have been involved every year,
Mhm.
and it is a lot of work. And people get grumpy and fussy, and you just try to stay calm and you try to enjoy it as it happens. But then the day of, there's something about when you see families, when you see kids, when you see people that look like deer in
Mhm.
headlights on one hand, but so excited. It makes me sort of teary-eyed. So excited to be in a place where they know they are not gonna be judged, where they're gonna be loved, where they're gonna be okay to just be. That's just freaking special, guys.
Yeah.
We do that. Capital City Pride does that. And last week, it was the mayor of Jackson did a proclamation. The whole council did a proclamation. It was Pride Month.
Mhm.
Now, it was like the last week of Pride Month, but I went and I was really excited. And that is what I thought about. I thought about the fact that we have this amazing festival downtown Jackson.
Mhm.
Thousands of people come. What a gift.
Mhm.
It's a lot of hard work, but what a gift to the people. What a gift to ourselves.
Yeah. And it definitely I think you said it, but we definitely I feel like we got lucky as founders that we came at a time where there has been so much work put in by community members before us.
Oh, very much so.
Who did so many other things to create the what acceptance we
And
do
when the
have.
prejudice was even more.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of prejudice right now, but even more than we've experienced. It was just, when you talk about literally don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah.
And they were still trying.
Yeah. I mean, I really do feel that we were lucky,
Yeah.
being the age we are.
And the timing, your timing was
right.
impeccable.
Yeah.
I know you didn't think about it that way, but
because
at first it
was really bad because our first festival had to get pushed for a year because of COVID.
Yeah.
Well, that is true.
So it felt
That
like
timing was not good.
it was really unlucky. But I even kind of think maybe we're lucky that we pushed a year because it gave us another year to get momentum.
And we had great momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that the proclamation, even though it came out a little later in the month, it kind of suggests or gives out this thematic idea that Pride doesn't necessarily have to end or stop with the month of June, but it continues on. And the fact that our Pride Festival is in the month of October kind of lets people know that this is an ongoing day by day sort of experience. So, I know we're getting close to time here, and so I guess in conclusion, if y'all could maybe say a few words about what your hopes are for the future for the organization, how you see those hopes overcoming some of the challenges the organization has experienced, and then if you have any final words for the listeners.
Want to start with Tyler?
Sure. Yeah. This is the challenges we've faced, you said?
Yes.
And where you see us or what your hope for us growing.
Yeah. I think some of the biggest challenges for us throughout the year, I'm just going to say the obvious in the room is our local and very supportive protesters. They really keep us on our toes, and they show up when we try to take measures to prevent them from getting in the way of our events. But, we take here at Capital City Pride, we take security measures very seriously. We want everyone to know that when you come to an event, you're going to be safe. That's why we emphasize safe spaces. When we have our local Pride Festival every year, we make sure that they have a designated protester area. So by law, they have to stay there. We make sure it's away from the crowd and keep them away from main activities. Some other challenges, I think Kathy has explained on this just a little, is throughout the years of having different board members, we've even had to face as individuals, how to manage different personalities, how to manage people, how to talk to people and communicate effectively. And just learning to grow as an organization. You can start off bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and want to start a nonprofit, but it's not easy. But still follow your dreams. If that's something you want to do, if you have a vision and you have a mission in your life to where, or a reason or cause in your life that you really want to pursue, and if that means starting a nonprofit or a business or whatever, like I encourage you to pursue that. It's going to be hard, and like don't stop when something challenges you, fight through it, persevere. We've been persevering for God knows how long now, for the last 100 years or so, or for all of time, gay people have persevered. So things don't always work out, but we're still human, we're still learning, we're still a small nonprofit, and I just encourage everyone out there to follow your dreams, chase them, don't be scared or intimidated by challenges, face them head on. You have good support groups within your local communities. Lean on us if you have any questions to get started, things like that. So
Yeah, and I'll just interrupt for a little bit here. I'm also doing a bad job at reading the chats coming in. Yeah, thank to Brandon and Stephen and Ryan for their comments. I see Brandon is living his best life, in the parade that Hal and Mal had, waving the Pride banner.
Yeah, we were in the St.
Yeah.
Patrick's Day parade, and that was really fun.
And then Stephen, I see you mentioned that you would love to see us all work with other spaces. Feel free as we continue chatting to give us some suggestions. What other spaces would you like to see us work with? And also, Ryan, thanks for the shout out there.
Yeah, I think.
Hey, Brian.
I think kind of bouncing off of what Stephen mentioned. He earlier talked about collaboration, and now talk about other getting out there more. I think the future of our organization truly is that kind of collaborative hub. Even the initiative about creating some more resources, like or sharing resources more readily. I really do think the future of our organization is, still doing the fun events that we host and that we kind of own those events, or for better or worse. I do also want us to be as supportive of other events as possible, and helping other groups connect together to create events. And if you're a community member who's like, what, I have a really cool idea for, like, we've done this in the past, but let's say like you're really passionate about Easter, like I want to have like an Easter party. Like, how can we help you get that event going? How can we partner with other businesses and other organizations to really not just create safe spaces as Capital City Pride, but help bring people to safe spaces that already exist? Because there are those in Jackson. There are lots of safe spaces in Jackson for the queer community. But how do we get the word out about those safe spaces?
And add events at those.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
exactly.
there's
that are successful. I mean, you're going to have an event. You want people to come. We have to figure that out.
I think every time I meet someone new at a Capital City Pride event, they're like, at least I think every event we've ever had, I talk to people. They'll say, "Oh, I didn't know this happened. This is my first queer event," or "I didn't know y'all existed till yesterday. I saw your flyer," or whatever. And that's so true of so many other events, organizations in Jackson. There's so many pockets of really cool. That this goes back to why I'm in Jackson, why I stayed in Jackson. There's such a spirit of can-do-itness within the city of Jackson, within the state of Mississippi, but everybody just stays in their own little pocket. And so how can we connect all those pockets and build organizational tunnels between all those pockets so that we're all rowing in the same direction and having fun together?
I agree. I guess I agree with the same thing. I want the future for this organization to really be a space where, now that we have a foundation, that we can continue building that in. I think about my Excel mind, an organized way, but also a way where I think a lot about the power of a story and how the narrative that is out for our organization. And I want it to be a space where people know about Capital City Pride, but also know that we're an organization that supports all other organizations, and see us as a space where we can share other places too. So I think one of the things I really do hope for our organization in the near future is that we can kickstart all these initiatives that we have and continue putting the word out about this organization, as well as other ones that are in our community, because there's so many great things happening in Jackson. how Lucas just said, like, it's kind of like little pockets where how the same thing, how people come to our events and they're just like, I didn't know this existed. Like, I find myself going to other events throughout Jackson. I'm just like, didn't know that was a thing that was happening. But I wanted to get into a space where it's just like, in the future, we have a hub where we can see, here's a list of all the organizations and all the events and how like the collaboration is happening for them.
Yeah. I mean, and then obviously pie in the sky, we have a center.
Yeah.
Yes.
And some paid staff to help run that
Oh,
center.
yes.
Absolutely.
And run,
Definitely.
and
yes.
run programming.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, so let me just say this. Unfortunately, in the last year and a half, prejudice and hate, it's okay to do those things.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to be, especially in the South, we're going to be gentlemanly and woman, well, respectful, and we're
Mhm.
not going to be. And it's kind of okay, but I think about on what prejudice is, and a lot of times it's a lack of education. It's a lack of knowing that
Mhm.
or
Mhm,
that
mhm.
person
Yeah.
or what that thought is.
Yeah, it's
What-
really easy to hate somebody when you don't know somebody.
when you don't know somebody. So one of my favorite initiatives, and this is kind of, and I've loved all the initiatives. I've loved being able to lead individuals like Edgar to make this happen. And so someone that's become a good friend of mine, Jay, has an initiative where queer people just go volunteer
Out and about.
out and about as, as a small group of queer people, but we're not, we're going to have our queer shirts on, but we're going to volunteer at all kinds of events, mostly straight events or non-queer events.
Yeah.
Because we want people to get to know us as individuals, as a group, that we care about the community, we care about people, we care about whatever the event is. We are going to care about that. And I
it's kind of our
think-
job as gay people to like keep a clean city, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Of course. Make it
We're supposed to make things
stylish.
pretty.
Exactly.
But I think it is harder to hate. It's harder to hate when you love.
Mm.
Mhm.
When you
Do I have a new tattoo?
I'm thinking it's harder to hate when you love, especially someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think us getting out and about will bring people that want to do volunteer work that haven't felt like, where do I fit? Because I'm obviously they, them, or whatever. They'll go with a group and we're going to just make a difference. And then for people that are not used to that, for straight people that might have some issues, they're like, that person was really nice. And they're like you said, picking up trash. And I'm like, what? And you get to know people. It is really harder to hate when you're educated about how amazing all people are.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. I'm really excited about getting ready to do that.
Yeah, we talk about this concept of cultural humility in the DEI world where, we're all forever learning in this sort of lifelong learning experience where we're only really truly the experts of our own lived experiences. And so only by having those conversations and meeting people and getting really close to other people do we ever really truly learn about others that are different from us.
Right.
So, and I'll just add to that. I'm hoping that with this podcast initiative that we'll also maybe get some ideas from the community for episodes. We would love to have and feature even members of the community on the podcast show and hear from them as well.
Yeah, I mean that's the purpose statement of the podcast, right? Is for people in our community to share their stories.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you all for joining and listening in. And thank you all, Kathy, the founders, for joining us for this conversation. We appreciate all that you do, and we hope to hear from all of you listeners next time.
Thank you, Edgar.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.